Saturday, November 29th, 2025, AGNDD until I report topic. What is Lüften? Please pardon any visual and informational inaccuracies in this entirely AI-generated article-based video. What is Lüften? The age-old German tradition that's backed by science. Could we offer you some Is Lüften? Tom Hale, Senior Journalist, IFL Science. Edited by Holly Large. Whether it's a frosty December morning or a breezy summer day, Germans will embrace the ancient art of Lüften, part health practice, part cultural quirk, and many experts would recommend you give it a try yourself. Lüften, meaning to air in German, simply involves opening windows and doors to replace stuffy, stale air with fresh air. Out with the old, in with the new. What is Lüften? Many people in Germany will habitually carry out this mini ritual in the mornings to air out their rooms, even in the dead of winter, while others will swear by opening windows for a bout of fresh out at least twice a day. In fact, a regular dose of Lüften is sometimes a required clause in German tenancy agreements. Keeping with the German tradition of compound words, there are a few different ways to Lüften up your house. There is Stoßlüften, shock ventilation, a technique where all windows are suddenly opened simultaneously, kept open briefly, then promptly shut after 10 minutes or so to minimize energy wastage. Uber efficient. And don't forget Querlüften, across ventilation, in which windows at opposite sides of a room are opened, allowing a breezy cross-flow of air to ventilate the space. What's the science behind Lüften? The logic behind Lüften is straightforward. Fresh air is good for you and good for buildings. There's a centuries-old belief in German culture that fresh air is imperative for physical health and a fully functioning respiratory system. This isn't some ill-founded superstition touted by someone's grandparent. It's an idea that has since been loosely backed up by a wealth of scientific studies. A 2022 Danish study found that sleeping with the window open improved people's sleep quality and improved their next-day work performance. Another study found that more frequent window ventilation was associated with a lower risk of depressive symptoms in older people. A large body of evidence shows that good ventilation, even just occasionally opening windows, also helps to slow the spread of infectious illnesses. The issue of ventilation was a hot topic during the COVID-19 pandemic. Back in September 2020, German Chancellor Angela Merkel said that opening windows may be one of the cheapest and most effective ways of containing the spread of the airborne coronavirus. Along with helping human lungs, opening windows can benefit your home. Mold and other fungi thrive in warm, humid environments where the air is still and stagnant. While there's less robust evidence on this side of the story, it is evident that ventilation is key to preventing moldy corners and crevices in houses because it helps remove moisture. The downside of Lüften. For editorial balance, we must point out the downside of Lüften. One of the most persistent stereotypes about German people is that they're incredibly efficient. Regularly opening windows, however, is not the most energy-efficient practice in the world. A 2021 paper argued that the costly energy efficiency features of Munich's highly insulated buildings have been undermined by residents' regular Lüften practices. Amelie Bauer, a researcher at Munich's Ludwig Maximilian University and one of the study's authors, told Politico, "The buildings we looked at were well insulated, but residents didn't fully understand the heating features or the air recovery systems incorporated into the home. They stuck to their habits and kept opening windows to ventilate in accordance with their preferences." This is precisely why many German authorities and ventilation experts will favor the Stoßlüften shock ventilation method. Always remember to lüften with care. Originally published 5 days ago. About the author. Tom is a journalist based in London. With a master's degree in journalism, he moved into the world of science communication with an especially keen interest in the perils of climate change, the latest historical discoveries, and the many ways science is changing human life. His work has seen him report from South Korea on the UN's Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change and serve as a judge for the Nikon Small World Photomicrography competition. Tom's byline has also appeared in a number of other publications, including Huck Magazine and Motherboard, where he writes about anything from science to culture. Comments? Arbpen, the 25th of November, 2025. When I was a little girl, my family was stationed in Kaiserslautern. I got pneumonia and the doctor told my mother to put me on the balcony as I recovered to help clear my lungs. It worked. Then, later, when I insisted on sleeping next to the window open to crack, thoroughly bundled in blankets, my mother thought I was nuts. To this day, I sleep near an open window no matter how cold it is. Sheffield, the 25th of November, 2025. It is not just a German tradition, it is also French, Eurasian, and European. It is done under many different names, and of course it also a strong tradition in Japan and Asia, Australia, NZ, and probably everywhere else where windows actually close. The Germans did not invent it. North America just decided that it was unnecessary, for reasons unknown, one can only guess. Good article. Spitfire_ch, reply to Cephide. 15 hours ago. I was completely surprised to learn there are people on the planet apparently not doing that. How comes they are not suffocating? Seems a very obvious thing to do. Then again, if you live in a city full of smog, it might actually be a bad idea. Slad F, the 25th of November, 2025. Purchase an inexpensive CO2 meter and check the CO2 in your house throughout the day. You'll be surprised how high it can get, especially during the winter when the furnace runs frequently, and also when you use your stove or oven. And for certain, if anyone smokes or vapes, as CO2 can get especially high then. Couples therapy wasn't helping my BF and my BF just happened to read an article about how a high CO2 reading can cause excessive arguments and outbursts. Sure enough, we had continuously high readings, 1,500 plus, especially in the winter. A quick way to lower the CO2 is to open several windows and place a box fan in one of the windows to blow out all the bad CO2 air and replace it with fresh air. Game changer. The angry outbursts have all but stopped. Those Germans definitely have the right idea about airing out your... Kita Z, the 26th of November, 2025. I'm always bemused by things that are common to practically the entirety of the world being touted as initiated by only one culture. Up until a couple of decades ago, literally everyone with windows opened their windows. Have you heard of this ancient French tradition? It's called walking, and French people invented it. You should try this revolutionary, singularly French idea. Carolyn, 10 hours ago. Some cultures, especially Asian ones, prefer closed windows and warm air, especially when there are young children. There is an idea that cold air is bad for people. My Korean in-laws never open their windows. I cross-ventilate every so often when my Korean husband is not around to freak out about it. Rainbound, the 25th of November, 2025. I'm not German, but I've been practicing this airing of the house my whole life. Perhaps it's common with Irish or Scottish people as well. My parents always opened windows to air, regardless of the weather. Cookie Knits, the 26th of November, 2025. It was very common in my part of Wisconsin, even after we got air conditioning. You turned off the aircon for an hour or so in the morning, opened the window and let in the fresh morning air. I've never gotten used to not being able to do that here in Texas. Ausländer, 2 days ago. When I moved to southeast Texas, we found the humidity so high for most of the year that opening windows was not a such good and refreshing plan, especially on the very many high mold days. Blue, 1 day ago. Wait, this is not a norm everywhere? I'm Slovak and we do this too. I thought that was just common sense. To air out a room? This is like telling me eating lunch is a cultural practice. SG, the 26th of November, 2025. In Italy, it's common practice too. We call it arieggiare. Grandpa, the 26th of November, 2025. I did this when stationed U.S. Army in Germany, wintertime. Small town of Garmisch. Still do it. Ack, the 26th of November, 2025. You will bring in a lot more dust, pollen, and mold if you do it at the wrong times. Brains. 11 hours ago. I'm German but live in the U.S. I saw my grandparents and parents do this, and we all do it to this day. My grandma used to air out the down feather beds every morning by hanging them over the windowsill before making the bed. As of today, I cannot stand closed windows. By the way, Florence Nightingale had this as one of her health tenets. Air out, expose bedding to fresh air. I do home visits, and I'm astounded at the dirty air in people's homes. Toxic, IMO. Geo, 2 days ago, just God forbid there is a draft, unplanned. The ladies over the age of 30 will flip out because es zit, and that will make you sick. The warm air, Föhn, from the Alps makes you kooky, and air conditioning is just unhealthy. Take 2 weeks sick leave. Viruses and bacteria. Look into it, Germans. I love you anyway.
Thank you for watching this AGNDD IntelliReport, dear viewers. Please like, subscribe, and click the bell button to get notified during new uploads. And make sure to tune in next time. Stay safe and healthy. Cheers!